Drake Maye and Sam Darnold are the two best deep ball passers of the last 20 years. Yes, you heard me, the past 2 decades. We've not seen guys complete deep, contested balls at the rate that they are in history. So what are they doing differently than everybody else that's putting them in this historic conversation? Well, let's dive into it. I want to start with Drake Maye. In his second NFL season, we have seen him play at a near MVP level. He's 4th in MVP odds right now. He's 2nd EPA per dropback, leads the league completion percentage at 10.3%, 2nd in completion percentage at 75.2%. Oh, and is breaking Tom Brady franchise records nearly every week, like this week when he completed 91.3% of his passes, breaking Brady's record of 88.5 back in 2009 and is 26th all-time for a single game. Say what you want about the competition, as the Patriots have had an easy schedule, the easiest in the league, but playing at this high of a level, especially with a lot of high difficulty throws, shows that it's real. Drake Maye on deep balls this season is completing 77.8% of his passes, first in the league and highest completion percentage in the last 20 years, 414 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. This is while having the second highest big-time throw percentage at 41.7%, Darnold's first, and 0 turnover-worthy plays, yes, 0. What Drake Maye is elite at when it comes to deep balls is the ball placement, specifically in hole shots and back shoulder throws using the sideline. I'd say he's the second best quarterback at hitting those hole shots on a consistent basis, Herbert being first, but he has the prettiest back shoulder ball in the league. Let's look at the film. And guys, before I continue, if you want to take Drake Maye's higher on passing yards or Sam Darnold, which we'll talk about later, there's no better place to do it than on Underdog. Underdog is the best and easiest place to play fantasy sports. All you have to do is pick higher or lower on 2-day player statistics, and you can win up to 1,000 times your money. Even better, if you sign up with code Fanatics and play $5, you get $100 in bonus funds and a gimme pick. Again, that is code Fanatics for $100 in bonus funds and a gimme pick. Recently, I've been doing a lot of two-mans on the app, and I've been winning. I had Rashee Rice touchdown, Devontae Adams touchdown for a two-man. Thursday night, I had Noah Fant yards and Jaylen Warren rushing yards. It's truly as easy as that. You just pick 2 to 8 people for your picks, and you can win some serious cash. I talked about this play previously on a Drake Maye video, but I want to go back to it. The Stephon Diggs deep ball against the Carolina Panthers. Diggs runs a fade route on the sideline. Defensive back Mike Jackson has solid coverage on Stephon here. He's with Diggs the entire time. However, Drake has a window. Drake Maye uses the sideline to his advantage. Whenever his receivers line up on the outside, he uses that sideline as the throwing window, making sure it is where the ball goes so the defensive back cannot get to the ball. The wide receiver at least has a shot to catch it. Maye throws it before Diggs even turns to look for it, puts it perfectly on the back shoulder, and look how much separation the ball creates. Diggs didn't create the separation with his route. The ball placement did. There's at least 2 yards between Mike Jackson and Stephon Diggs because of where he placed the ball. Perfect use of the boundary as your friend. Don't throw it upfield towards the end zone or right on him. Throw it to his back shoulder at the sideline so he's the only one that can catch the ball and you create space. The next example of him using the sideline comes against the Bills in the hole shot to Kayshon Boutte on the game-winning drive. In a cover 2, there will always be the hole in between the flat defender and the deep safety, unless the flat defender matches the receiver, which can and has happened in football, of course. A lot of quarterbacks, specifically guys like Justin Herbert, love this throw. He did it on a corner route to Keenan Allen week 1 versus the Chiefs on a play where the flat defender even passed up his responsibility for the mid-zone linebacker so that he can match Keenan on the corner route, but perfect ball placement on the sideline made it to where that did not matter. Drake does similar things, maybe even better in these hole shot scenarios. Creating space with the ball is not easy. You have to keep the ball away not only from the defender, but an area where only one guy can make a play on the ball, and that would be the guy in a blue jersey. Now, technically, this is not a deep ball, as it only traveled about 19 yards in the air, but I'm going to include it because 3 feet doesn't take away from how good this ball was. Boutte gets past the flat defender, who sticks with him a little bit down the sideline, before stopping right as the ball is thrown. But as this ball is thrown, there's 2 issues. The flat defender, while he did stop, is still kind of creeping up, and the lurking safety, who's inching towards Boutte the entire route. There's only one option for Maye: back shoulder against sideline. I'm not gonna lie, Maye stares Kayshon down this entire route, and I mean seriously the whole route. So the safety kind of knew where it was going and could have made a play on this ball if it were anywhere else, but no. Drake Maye throws it towards his back shoulder, using the sideline as the space created by the throw, in the only spot the ball can be caught without causing danger to Boutte. This isn't a back shoulder ball in the traditional sense that he has turned his entire body towards the sideline, but it went to his back shoulder while he was diagonal, so that Boutte was the only one that had a chance to make a play on this ball with the safety closing in with the flat defender not too far behind. And back shoulder throws are one of, if not the toughest throws to stop in football, and the Saints found out about that when the Patriots iced the game. Again, Boutte, who is one-on-one on the outside, he had a great outside release. With a little hitch after 5 yards, tried to throw Kool-Aid McKinstry off, and the throw was basically a handoff. Right to the back shoulder of Boutte along the sideline, creating the space between him and McKinstry with this ball. A beautiful ball that McKinstry never had a chance to make a play on. This is a 3rd and 11 first down, adding on to Drake's catalog of impressive deep shots. There's no way for the DB to make a play on balls like this because it's just in front of them. They can't go through the body of Boutte without a penalty. To the back shoulder, using the sideline to get him there, it's easy. There are other deep balls too, like the Pop Douglas touchdown, but some are just easy catch and throws because the guy's wide open. I recognize deep ball accuracy, but what you do when a defender is closing in, and how do you get them the ball? And Drake has done a great job at putting it in spots where only his guy can grab it. But something else about Drake Maye is that he doesn't need amazing mechanics to make deep throws, because his arm talent is just that good. Like the contested touchdown against the Saints to, you guessed it, Kayshon Boutte. I want to shout him out real quick for how efficient he has been on deep passes. On 8 targets, he's caught 7 of them for a reception percentage of 87.5%. Leading the league is PFF's 3rd highest graded deep receiver behind DeAndre Hopkins, who only has 4 targets, and JSN, who we will get to in just a couple minutes, with a grade of 99.5. He's also caught all 3 of his contested deep targets, and disregarding players who have less than 3 contested catches all season and Tyreek Hill, who's out for the year. On any distance, he's 10th in contested catch percentage at 71.4%. If you're wondering, Stephon Diggs has got 7 to 7 of those. Anyways, Boutte kind of gets shut down on this route at first. Some great physical coverage by the defensive back, and as Drake feels the pressure coming from behind, he steps up and gives his guy a chance in the end zone. And Boutte ends up catching this contested ball for a 25-yard touchdown. But what stands out to me, besides a great throw and contested catch, is the off-platform mechanics that Drake has. Mechanics are preached to quarterbacks because that's how you drive a ball to where it needs to go. Set your base towards your target, step into the throw, use your hips, use your wrist, and follow through. The ball will go exactly where you want it to. While it's definitely necessary to have good mechanics on 90% of throws a quarterback makes, some, like Maye, have the arm talent to ignore that and make off-platform throws. As he steps up in the pocket and is about to release the ball, he throws it off of 1 foot into the perfect spot for Boutte to catch it, who maybe had 1 step on the defender, and the DB couldn't even make a play on it. It was perfectly on to Kayshon Boutte's shoulder. Easy catch for the touchdown. Drake Maye has one of the most talented arms in the league and can put the ball on a string wherever he wants. Using the sideline, back shoulder, or just going off script and throwing contested balls to where only one guy can grab it, the receivers and coaches trust him to do what he needs to do to move the chains, and it's working. But the same can be said about Sam Darnold, who many doubted going into the season. While Maye has been more efficient than Darnold, who is also historically efficient on deep balls this season, Drake is number 1 in deep ball completion percentage of any quarterback through the first 7 weeks of the last 20 years, but Sam Darnold's number 2, with a completion percentage of 68%, also 0 turnover-worthy plays, a big-time throw percentage of 42.9%, first in the league, while overall being 8th in EPA per dropback at 0.17, as a completion percentage over expected of 8%, second in the league. On 7 more attempts and only 3 more completions, Darnold has 609 passing yards on deep throws compared to Maye's 414. And since I shout out Boutte, I have to shout out 2025's second best wide receiver behind Puka Nacua, Jackson Smith and Jigba. I already made a video on JSN, which has only been proven more since week 3 when I made the video, because he leads the league in deep yards with 385, is 8th in reception percentage at 71.4%, and has holding 3 of his 5 contested targets on deep balls. Darnold and Maye excel on deep balls in separate ways, and I already explained Maye's extensively, but Darnold is doing a wonderful job at layering the ball over defenders, like on this JSN double move versus the 49ers. Out and up move versus the 49ers, where JSN uses his entire body to sell the route, making Renardo Green fall for just enough to create separation, who had outside leverage, which JSN used against him on this double move. Darnold steps into the throw and lays it right over Green into the breadbasket for JSN, and keeps going for a few yards. If Darnold puts it further down the field, the safety may have a chance to come up and make a play on the ball. He was late to react to the ball, but if the placement was further downfield, he has the chance to go up there and make a play. Now, I will say that is if it was like a Russell Wilson moon ball, but still there was a chance if he caught up to it. But he puts it right into the hands of JSN between the faraway closing safety and the defensive back who he has 1 step on for an easy completion, and this is basically a handoff on a 40-yard gain. And then against the Saints, he threw a 45-yard bomb to Jackson Smith and Jigba once again. JSN does an amazing job selling the route vertically. His head and body are staring towards a vertical route, in which the safety was going after as well. He plants his feet and cuts in, continuously angling his post route upfield until he slows down and makes the catch between 2 defenders. You might look at this and say that Darnold could have put it further out so that JSN could run under it and potentially score a very long touchdown. If there was pressure in his face, the action resulted in a roughing the passer penalty. Darnold layered this ball over the closing safety in front of, once again, Kool-Aid McKinstry into the perfect spot for Jackson to catch this deep shot. Darnold has been one of the best quarterbacks under pressure the past 2 seasons, and throws like this are why. With a guy in his face, he finds a way to get the ball to his receiver, even if it's 40 yards downfield, and technically could have been a better throw in quotes, but given the situation, this ball was great. And Sam just has such great touch on the ball, like on this one against the Cardinals. JSN runs another double move, which stops Max Melton in his tracks, and leaves a lot of room for Jackson to keep running. Darnold layers the ball over and away from the defender so that JSN cannot get tackled, or so that the DB cannot recover to make a play on the ball. and it's another 35-yard handoff for Darnold and Smith-Njigba. I will say, having a receiver like Njigba makes it easy throwing deep, when he always finds a way to get open, but you still have to credit Darnold for his ability to layer the ball over defenders into soft spots with the coverage, taking his receivers out of harm's way, and creating big gains with just beautiful soft throws. And a throw I don't see getting talked about a lot is this crosser to Cooper Kupp against the Buccaneers. As he breaks on this crosser, Zion McCollum loses a little bit of space, but he makes up for it and gets back onto Kupp's hip, and he could make a play on the ball, but just watch this throw. Leading Cooper to the outside, it takes McCollum out of the play. If this ball were anywhere else, it could lead to an incompletion or maybe a turnover, but Darnold puts such great touch and a far enough lead to completely erase the solid coverage by Zion McCollum and a good diving catch for the veteran Cooper Kupp. He's been elite at leading receivers into open space for big plays downfield, and not necessarily touchdowns, but explosives for the offense that keep the chains moving, puts them closer to scoring position. Whether he has to step up in the pocket to avoid pressure, is about to get hit, or has a clean pocket, he could deliver the ball to anywhere on the field with elite touch. In the same game, he makes a play that is just stupid. I have no idea how he got the ball to where it needed to go, but he did. Off the play action toss, Darnold rolls out left, and in case you didn't know, Darnold is at his best when he's rolling out. That's when he's most dangerous. There was a hold on this play by Lavonte David, so it was a free play, but I don't think Sam saw it because he was rolling out and Yaya Diaby was closing in on him with pressure. So Sam has to get rid of it, and he sees a tiny bit of space for fourth-year wide receiver Derek Young, who prior to this play only had 2 catches in his career. Darnold's arm gets hit as he releases the ball, and by the time the ball's at his apex, he's already on the ground, and it doesn't matter. It goes right over the outstretched arm of impressive rookie nickel Jacob Parrish, directly into the hands of Young for 36 yards. Man in his face, about to get hit, arm does get hit, launches it downfield while falling to the ground, right over the outstretched defender. Just wow. And that 61-yard touchdown to Jaxon Smith-Njigba against the Jaguars was also beautiful by Darnold. While JSN obviously does an amazing job getting open down the field, the defensive back is still with him close to his hip the entire time. But Darnold throws the piss out of this ball. From the 32 to the opposing 12? Yeah, I don't know. But the way that he led Jackson Smith further down the field than the DB probably thought, he lost his footing and could not keep up with Jaxon Smith-Njigba. A 61-yard touchdown from the 32 all the way to the 12 or 13 in the air, making the DB literally not be able to catch up to the ball anymore because it was so far and beautifully placed into JSN's hands. Perfect throw by Darnold to an open receiver that wasn't as open as you might think. These two are redefining what it means to be an elite deep passer. Not just arm strength throwing it 70 yards downfield, but placing the ball into tight windows, layering it over the defender, leading your guys, and putting elite touch on the ball to make sure your receiver is the only one who can catch it. We've not seen this level of deep ball passing potentially in the history of the league. I will preface this by saying I'm only 23. The stats only go back to 2005, so if I'm wrong, please correct me. But according to the numbers and the eye test that I've seen through 7 games, nobody is throwing the ball like these two are. It'll be hard to tell if these efficiency numbers can stay that high all season long, but the way that Sam Darnold and Drake Maye are throwing the deep ball, I would not be surprised if the stats stand for a lot longer into the season. With how these two are playing, they're both easily in the MVP conversation, and a lot of that discourse is due to how they're throwing the ball downfield at a historic level.